All right.
assessment.
Good. It's good. So those nannies at the beginning,
Yes.
pretty sure they were real people.
Joel just had such passive disappointment in Vanya haphazardly murdering people.
Well, and I mean, it makes sense that that's why Grace was made.
Yeah.
Because, you know, she cannot be killed by conventional ways.
Clearly.
And it was enough to get Vanya to
Chill out.
Mm-hmm. So, in a weird way, Diego Diego owes Vanya for their mother.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
That backwards walk was super creepy.
Oh yeah, it's really Exorcist. Interesting. She's at the beginning. She said, "I'm your new nanny," and then all of a sudden she became mom.
I mean, maybe Reginald went all 5 and married the inanimate object lady. Well,
Maybe
not inanimate, but still.
Well, it makes me wonder. Like, did the others growing up until the point where Vanya got essentially cut off from her powers? Did everyone else know she had powers?
Vanya?
Yeah. So did Allison have to rumor everyone else as well? And she remembers doing it to Vanya.
She remembers doing it to Vanya, but she didn't know Vanya had powers.
That's okay.
And as far as we know, she didn't rumor herself, so...
Right.
It was
because she remembered it.
Right. Right. So, it was kind of a...
Unless she did, but it was just Vanya. I heard a rumor Vanya doesn't have powers or is ordinary or whatever. But that didn't necessarily take away the memory of her telling Vanya she's ordinary.
Yeah, kind of an Anna, Elsa, I remove the magic, but I leave the fun kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. As far as the others, I don't know. I'm inclined to believe it was more of a they didn't know because Reginald was still studying her and wasn't ready to reveal it to the others, and then was just like, Vanya's not going to be hanging out with us anymore.
Sure.
Now, did she spend all her time in that prison?
No.
No.
No, because we saw flashbacks of when they were not necessarily 4 or 7 or however old they were, but
Right, she would just be like practicing violin, and they were gearing up to go on a mission.
yeah. And she'd ask, why can't I go? And he's like, you're ordinary.
So she spent she probably, okay, so her being rumored, told that she doesn't have powers, that was probably when she was released. She probably spent a lot of time in that prison up to that point. Okay.
And, yeah, leading up to, she was kind of evil.
Yeah, she was pretty evil. I'm annoyed with having to eat oatmeal, so I'm going to destroy you.
Thank goodness our kids don't have powers.
Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine, Isaac? No, I don't want to eat that. And then,
Then suddenly I'm just sent through a wall.
Blood coming out of your ears, piercing screams.
Yes, I can imagine that. Most of it's true, just less with the blood.
Leonard grooming Vanya is super creepy.
Yeah, the tub scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're special. Say it. Like, ew. Yeah, that was just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben punched Klaus.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where the ability to speak and then manipulate the dead would be an asset to
Yeah. If he could raise an army of the dead, if his powers were at full
Return
capacity.
to the King
Return
status.
to the King status, yeah. Now, that's probably what he's going for when he locked him in the tomb or the mausoleum or whatever. And then it just didn't quite work out that way because, that's a horrible thing to do to a child, and turn to drugs, and then powers switched off.
Yeah. It's like Reginald didn't know how to really harness these kids' powers.
No, he definitely wasn't an expert in the matter.
No, he instead of trying to reach Vanya in a way that would help her control her powers, he just locked her away and then essentially tried to make her powers go away.
Elsa.
Yeah.
Vanya is Elsa.
Yeah. Only scarier. And also it's kind of scary.
Elsa, what have you done?
And then Klaus, that whole, you never reach your potential by polluting yourself or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you locked him in a mausoleum, Sue. Yeah.
Maybe introduce him to nicer dead people first. Not an angry horde of the undead.
Yeah, right?
But he tried the trial by fire thing, and it just didn't quite work out.
Nope. Made Luther into a monkey.
Kinda. Yeah, that wasn't the attempt to harness his powers. Luther pretty much had that down pat. He just...
But that's just another example of him just not really caring about them, just caring about what they could do. And then when they couldn't do what he wanted them to do, he didn't.
He cared enough not to let Luther die.
Yeah, because he was the only one left there.
Yeah, but then he sent him to the moon. So
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm not, trying to defend Reginald or anything. I'm just kind of trying to see his point of view.
He never taught Allison how to prudently use her powers.
Yeah. He turned her into a crime fighter at 13 years old.
Yeah.
14, whatever
And
they were.
Diego clearly just
Here, have some knives.
pushed him away. So how is Leonard triggering her by hitting the book?
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to make her mad.
I don't know, they focused a lot on the sound of the pounding book.
Well, the sound.
Okay. The repeating sound, kind of going back to what we were talking about last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Allison survived confirmed. Vocal cords severed, powerless.
Yeah.
I question whether 5 inadvertently caused the apocalypse. So my theory was, and so they didn't get to this at all by the end of this episode. So my theory is that that the temp agency or whatever it is was leading a trail of breadcrumbs like, oh, there's an apocalypse coming. You can't stop the apocalypse, in order to motivate him to go back and stop the apocalypse. Because by that point he was probably old. It was probably, well, whatever.
He was
But
very-
by saying, it was like Klaus was telling 5, you're addicted to the apocalypse. It was like he was somehow, that was his thing. He had to stop it. And people were like, no, don't stop it. But maybe that's really what they were trying to do. And that memo he intercepted about protect Harold Jenkins at all costs wasn't necessarily because Harold causes the apocalypse, but because Harold stops it. And now that Harold is dead, the apocalypse is definitely coming. It's a thin theory.
It's a thin theory. There's a couple of issues. Doesn't explain the eye.
Right.
That we know of. I mean, if Harold was there at the apocalypse, no, I don't get it.
Yeah, but it's a thin theory. But
hopefully
it's theory.
it'll be clear and explained and make sense after next episode.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna jump a little bit.
Okay.
Why was Five's goodbye to Dolores touching?
It was.
It was, and you know what? I was watching that scene and it hit me. Holy shit, that actor is 13, and it occurred to me in that moment that he is a really good actor.
Yeah.
You forget that he is 13.
Is he actually 13?
I don't know for sure.
Or was it at filming?
Yeah, or he was young. He was a child actor. He is a child actor. And you completely forget that.
Yeah. He did phenomenal.
Child actors are not typically, I mean, they're all right. Like, you've got some really good ones. He's one of the really good ones.
Yeah.
Like, he acts so mature.
Between Stranger Things and Umbrella Academy, Netflix is like crushing the child actor scouting.
Yeah. Yeah. So now jumping back, Vanya's prison is soundproof. Makes sense.
Yep.
But then her creepy child alter ego shows up, which is weird.
Yeah, that was interesting.
It's almost like a dual personality thing.
Which, again, repression will do that.
Well, and if you look at the title card...
Changes. Sorry.
No, like so when you click on the thumbnail for Umbrella Academy,
yeah.
Like sometimes it'll show a scene, but sometimes it'll show like their promo shot or whatever. And the one that we see now, there's another person standing with the group. That's not any of them. And I haven't gotten a good look, but she looks young. I almost wonder if part of Vanya's thing is dual personality, and if maybe she somehow, if the two get separated.
Interesting.
I don't know for sure. It's thin, and I'd have to take a closer look at that little promo shot, but...
Could be a Jekyll and Hyde thing. What if...
I mean,
way off the rails. What if it was like a twin that died in utero and is getting manifested by Klaus, kind of a thing? Way off the reservation, but
I mean...
So's the show.
Yeah. Well, it actually reminds me of Once Upon a Time, because towards the end of towards the end of, like, the around 6th season, and then most of 6th season, what had happened was Regina took a serum that pulled the evil queen part of her out. So there were two distinct people. So I wonder if it's kind of the same thing. And actually Jekyll and Hyde, that's where they got the serum.
Okay.
And Jekyll and Hyde separated from each other.
Okay.
So
yeah.
It's not that, like, it hasn't been done before.
Sure.
But yeah, hearing her heartbeat gave her power back.
Right. She had a sound to focus on, and she was able to manifest by that.
Yeah.
She got so worked up.
And then Vanya went, evil face, trademark.
Evil face, deal. Yes. The way she looked after she broke out of prison. She just evil Willow
She had the
status.
Like, that possessed eye thing going on. Yeah.
I don't know that I have anything to say about it necessarily, other than
it looked really cool.
It looked cool, and it does actually kind of lend credence to there's something actual there that's affecting her. As more than just she's pissed off. There's another entity involved.
Yeah, her creepy child alter ego.
Yeah.
A couple things you didn't have written down here.
Okay.
Luther is actually being very understanding, and he didn't kill her. He just knocked her out so that they could contain her, because he now knows how dangerous she is.
And he's the only one that knows aside from Pogo, right?
Right. And he's like, if half of what Pogo told me is true, blah, blah, blah. So he actually doesn't. I mean, there might be some resentment that maybe might come out in the next episode, but it's mostly like, she's actually super dangerous. And the fact that Allison was completely on Vanya's side, like, let her go, my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because she recognizes the fact that the reason why Vanya did what she did was because Allison was going to try to rumor her.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think Allison was actually wrong in trying to do that.
Fair.
I think that because of everything else that's happened with her using that power, she has developed an incredible amount of guilt over using it. So now every time she uses it, she feels guilty. So that's why she said, my fault. I think she was completely justified in trying to use it.
Okay. I have a couple of quick thoughts on that, on everything you just said. One, Luther had a hell of a 180 on Pogo. Like, he was, I don't trust you to be with Allison. I'm not going anywhere. Like, you have nothing to say to me kind of deal. To, oh, you told me something about Vanya. I completely buy into you. Like, I don't know what Pogo showed him to convince
Probably
him.
Tapes.
The old tapes of her training and all that stuff. That's the only thing that really makes sense. It's a lot of time, but yeah.
Well, I think it's, even if he didn't see tapes, I think it's bolstered by the fact that Allison told him that Vanya has powers.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
knowing their father and their father's secrets, he knows that. But also knowing their father and how he, exploited them. Regardless of how he feels about Pogo or their father, he knows that the fact that their father didn't use Vanya's powers, didn't have her part on the team, there is a really good reason for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. The other thing I wanted to say, I wanted to give you props for essentially calling it, not that Luther tried to kill Vanya, but he was the aggressor.
He was
capturing her and wanting to keep her locked up, and Diego was saying let her go.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Diego was like, she's our sister, we can't do this, blah, blah, blah. But I was wrong insofar as he doesn't have a revenge line. Probably because Allison is alive. If Allison had died, I don't know.
That would have been different.
But
especially considering what she told him.
Yeah. But I think he was genuine in everything he told her. But he was also very guarded and a little stiff about it. So, I mean, yeah.
Nobody else knew what he knew.
Yeah, and he could be pissed. But he also had enough empathy and self-control to do just exactly what he needed to do. And he did say, as he was chokeholding her, he did say, I'm sorry too.
Now,
I don't think he really wanted to do that,
Okay. Do you think he was justified in doing it? Like, I mean, she came to him looking for help, looking to apologize, and clearly what he did ended up being a trigger.
Right. I think he was scared.
Yeah.
I mean, he saw what she did to Allison. And even, like, taking his feelings for Allison out of the equation, he... I think was just scared at how dangerous she is.
Yeah.
And he did the only thing that made sense.
Contain her until we can make sense of all this, if we can all talk about it.
But you're right, that ended up being a trigger.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I have to pee.
I have to drink.
Yeah. And we need to...
Pre-fill and finish this thing?
Yeah. I mean, it's a reasonable amount of time. It might take us a little past midnight after, like, the...
Assessment
and everything, but not terrible.
Let's do it.
But I think it's not strong.